All right, I think last one of today, or for now at least. But the last 5 videos I did are very prominent videos are very prominent thoughts in my mind. They are ones that have shifted my direction. One is basically regarding energy and how energy is translated. The second is how in a state of calm things are able to grow, explore, and expand. And I use the term rampaging fires, basically burn a forest, right? While small fires like heat your coffee and like sustain you and cook and shit like this. The second one is the games that we play, and one is the game of life, and one is the game with life, and one is the game within life. The 3 games we play, and I think that should go in the book I'm writing. All right, with life. Of life, within life. All right, that's good. And so this one, and the third one, which basically is the language of the world, is energy, and we express it through feelings, and how we're able to kind of connect and relate with the world through like reacting, which is feelings that lead to thoughts. Or thoughts responding to thoughts, which leads to feelings. Now, you don't take possession of a decision. This is today's video. Definitely not make one. What you can do is grab the one most suited for the situation. Every situation reveals many possibilities and many potential decisions/paths. This has been a thing of mine for the past year. I've been saying this for the past year, and now I understand where it started, right? Like in every single one of these videos, I just like talked about what I just read. Are things that altered the way I think, the way I approach things, my language, the way I describe things, and the way I articulate things. You don't take possession of a decision. The decision is not mine. What does that mean? There's an arrogant approach I feel that's embedded in our language. Like when you look at something and you go, I built this. You did not build this. This is the outcome of your effort. I put in the effort and this got built. And I feel that's the first thing you kind of like learn when you're exploring something new, is the fact that like, most of the time when you're looking at something, you're looking at the end results. But people that actually like contributed to it reflect on the end result as the work itself. Nobody talks to you about building a wall and then another wall and then another wall and then eventually you have a house, right? They just tell you, I built a house. Not I built walls and then roofs and then basically like doors. They don't have that conversation. And so hear me out. You don't take possession of a decision. You don't take possession of a decision. Definitely you do not make one. What you can do is grab the one most suited for the situation. As in you look around you, you're like, somebody's falling down. Do I make the decision to go there and actually like pick him up or help them? Right? Isn't that it? Isn't that it? Every situation reveals many possibilities and many potential decisions/paths. Because ultimately every decision you take is a pivoting point on what's going to happen next. And one of the things I read a while back when I was still into like deep researching into crypto, the thing, what the fuck, man? Holy shit. Nahli group. And the thing was simple. Every decision you take towards something is a decision you're taking away from something. What the fuck does that mean? We do not necessarily realize the change that happens after we move. A lot of people cannot comprehend that saying yes to something literally was saying no to other things. And again, like every once in a while, life kind of like puts you in that whole like, no, what are you gonna do? And then you go like, if I do this, I lose this, and if I do this, I lose that. But that's been the case all along. It's just, you got to a point where it's a bigger decision, I guess. And you have never like considered you've never considered the things you were letting go of when you were actually trying to build a decision, when you were trying to when you were making moves. And so like when the time comes and there are like much bigger decisions, they're kind of presented differently, and your whole like existence kind of like struggles with it. It's like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna think about it? I feel the decisions are taken instinctively, by the way. I feel like, you know, what we do, like, the decision is taken, and then you spend time making sense of it or convincing yourself with it. And so there's an intuitive approach that allows for a certain kind of like, there's an intuitive approach where you kind of go like, oh, this one, I wonder why, and then you go for it, instead of thinking about it and then it's wasting time figuring out why you took the decision versus exploring why you took the decision. And it felt very matrixy right now, like, you know, it is very much you get to choose, you don't get to decide, right? I cannot create a decision out of thin air. I can pick one out of thin air. I can look at what suits me in this situation. I could look at what suits this situation and reflect on myself through it. And so the decision was never yours to make, but I feel like it's a lending. Like you take a decision, you use it, and then you let it go, right? And when we're trying to make sense of one, right? When we're trying to think about a decision, when we spend 4 or 5 days, a week, 2 weeks thinking about a decision, are we really going anywhere with it? Or are we just trying to convince ourselves that it has to be done? Right? Like it feels like what we're doing is wasting our own time in order to feel like we gave something its worth. But who are we to evaluate a decision using time? First things first, time is a lot more precious. And it's through time and experience that you developed an intuition for the decision-taking process. You look at a situation and you see it the way you see it because of your experiences with the world. So you already spent time. But weirdly so, it's an arrogance versus ego thing where you go like, no, oh, this one. And then if you don't spend enough time, suffer and think and process and just kind of like, you know, feel stuck and then you get over it, if you don't get that feeling out of it, it kind of like, it's a counterintuitive approach where you kind of like feel it's the easier you take a decision, you feel like you're taking more risk, but the problem is you're kind of like adding more strain, which increases the risk by diving deeper into like the thought process of or analysis of why that was a relevant decision to be taken. 100%. We kind of like, again, like, you know, especially with the bigger decisions, or at the very least the decisions that impact us the most, they tend to be the easiest ones to take because nobody's as familiar with our situation as us. But it doesn't seem fair that like the harder the decision to take or the harder the choice to make, the easier the decision to take. Right? Like traveling to a different country Normally, when you start thinking of traveling, it's because something around you is not clicking. And so when you're thinking of changing schools, when you're thinking of switching jobs, when you're thinking of starting something new, it's already been decided. The thinking process is just standing in your way. And so like it's an arrogant thing, because like spending that time with the decision or with the thought around that decision gives us the illusion that we made that decision. But the truth is we didn't make it. It's not our creation. The 2 weeks that we did was literally just translating the decision in a way where we feel like we're in charge, or feel like we were involved in how it came to be. But the truth is we were not, because it happened through instinct. It happened through past experiences. So yes, we were included in the way the decision was realized and noticed and taken. But it was the act of years and years of experience that led to that. Not you now, not the 2 weeks, a day, 3 days, a month, whatever it took for you to process why that was relevant. And the bigger problem with that becomes an activity on its own, which takes away from the potency of the decision that needs to be taken. Potency is a good word here, yeah. So if you take a decision and you act upon it, it's potent. It shifts direction. It allows you to like do things differently. And the more you take time away from moving towards that decision, because you didn't take it, right? You looked at it and you go like, that decision, and then you're processing it. So taking a decision means moving towards it, and then kind of like looking at a decision and picking one. Picking a decision versus taking a decision. Khamenyuki. Taking is an act. This one, I'm gonna move with it. Yeah, interesting. Picking, it's like, that one, let me think. Anyways, if I can love you guys, I did 5 videos right now. Cool beans. It's a video, like everything else. It's just, you do it. And after you do it, you move on. All right, bye-bye.